welcome back to my channel. So I have a few different things I want to talk about in this video. First, let's start off with Louie. So one Facebook user posted in a Love After Lockup Facebook group saying that she actually ran into Louie today, and this is a picture she got with him. So she works at Macy's in the fragrance department, and she was actually with a customer at the time, so she couldn't talk to Louie as much as she wanted to, but she was able to snap a picture real quick. She works and lives in New Jersey, so that means it's very well possible that Louie has finally moved in with Melissa in New Jersey, unless he's visiting. But you can see he's got his new teeth he's rocking. He looks good and healthy. I gotta give it to him. So next, I want to talk about Kerok. So first, I do want to give credit to Gesso for this tea. She's the one that sent this to me. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I butchered it, I apologize, and please correct me in the comments. But this is Kerok before he transitioned. So this is the arrest that this mugshot is from, and we're going to go ahead and read this news article. So it says 3 arrested, 4 still at large after Christmas morning armed robberies. And this is from December 2016. So it says in Richmond, Virginia, 3 individuals have been arrested and charged in 2 armed robberies that took place Christmas morning in the Richmond area. So Thomas Galbraith, which is Kerok's brother, nay Kara Galbraith, which is Kerok's birth name, that's Kerok, and Nakima Davis were arrested Sunday morning after a brief vehicle pursuit. A 4th suspect is said to have escaped on foot, and the first of the 2 robberies occurred when victims were approached by 4 unknown individuals. So they were approached in an alley, and one of the suspects asked one of the victims about a party, and next thing you know, they ended up pulling out a gun and demanding the victim's belongings. But that's not the only person they robbed, because after they robbed this guy, they got back in the car, they drove down the street, and they decided to rob someone else. So it says the suspects took the items, and they told the victims to lie on the ground. Shortly thereafter, the suspects fled on foot to a silver Nissan. 20 minutes later, the officers were called to another block for a report of another robbery. So the victim in the second incident told the officers that he was just outside of his apartment, and all of a sudden a suspect approached him asking for help, motioning towards the rear of the building, and the victim went to assist, and he found a second suspect who appeared to be injured, so he's just trying to help them out. And so he's trying to call 911 and help these people out. And like, oh, no, we don't need the cops. We're fine. And next thing you know, they pull out a weapon. They demand his belongings. The guy they were trying to rob, he's like, look, I don't have anything. And they told him to get on the ground or they were going to shoot him. And then so he ended up getting on the ground. And then next thing you know, they all robbed him. And then they ended up fleeing to a nearby building. So a witness told officers he saw the suspects enter a silver Nissan, which they fled in, and shortly thereafter, an officer spotted the vehicle and initiated a traffic stop, and the vehicle ended up fleeing, and they ended up getting in a brief pursuit, and then they crashed at an intersection, and 3 of the 4 suspects were apprehended, but the driver of the vehicle ended up jumping out of the car and running away and got away on foot. The 3 suspects who were apprehended were all charged with robbery and a felony with a firearm. And the guy who got away, the Crime Stoppers were offering a reward up to $250 for anyone who could help find him. So here is Kerok's mugshot at the time with the other people that he was arrested with. Reading that reminds me of this incident that happened to my parents when they were younger. So I remember my mom telling me this as a kid, and this is a story I will never forget. So when we were babies, my parents, they had my grandma watch us, and they decided to go out and eat, but the place they went to eat at wasn't in the best part of town. And after they left the restaurant, my mom said it was super late at night by that time, and they were driving down this dark road, and next thing you know, they were approached by this lady, and she was in tears and distress. She's like, oh my God, help me, and they're like, we gotta help her. So they pull over, and she says, my son, he's right around the corner, he's hurt, please help me. And so my parents kind of got a weird feeling all of a sudden, and my dad decided to drive off, and right when he drove off, right around this corner, this guy popped out with a ski mask and an AK and starts running up to their car, and literally, like, it was in seconds he was grabbing the door handle to my parents' van, and luckily the van was locked, and he pointed the gun up, but luckily he didn't shoot or do anything. But it was just traumatizing for me hearing that story, and it just goes to show you can never trust someone's intentions. So both of these robberies right here, alongside his criminal history, is probably why Kerok has 600 years on paper, according to him. So now I want to talk about Brittany and Andy's ex-wife. So after I posted my video today talking about Brittany responding on Twitter to people claiming that the ex-wife is bitter, and after her claiming the way she treated Andy was because the ex-wife ended up telling her that Andy was actually with the ex-wife when he started reaching out to Brittany. Well, the ex-wife reached out to me. She said Brittany's on Twitter claiming her actions towards Andy was because of all the info I gave her. She didn't know anything at all until 2 weeks after she got out. That attitude was all her. And then we have to remember, so she didn't know until 2 weeks after she got out. And what we're seeing on the show right now, she's only been out of prison for a few days. The ex-wife also sent me more receipts of conversations she had with Andy. So these all happened on June 19th when Andy was with Brittany and he was allegedly in bed with her as he was texting his ex-wife. So she said, "Did you delete your Facebook again?" She says, "Never mind." He says, "But I'm about to. I love you, Miss Kid." She says, "I love you too, Andy." And he sends all these kissing heart emojis. Then Andy said, "I love you." And she says, "I love you more than you'll ever know." He says, "I love you way more than you'll ever know too." And then they're sending all these heart emojis. And then Andy goes, "How was the get together?" And it just goes to show that he was still love bombing his ex-wife as he was with Brittany. Then Andy goes, "Kiss emoji, you better." And then she said, "LOL, did you unalive somebody for me?" But she actually said KILL, but I can't say that word on here. And he says, "I would." She says, "Same." And then Andy goes, "Tonight on Dateline." And she says, "Couples that unalive." And he goes, "LMAO, murder came to town." And she says, "Yes." I guess that's just a little inside joke they have. And then she says, "Andy, I have to know, if she was treating you better, would you still love me? I'm struggling with all the I love yous, but you lay down with her at night. I'm so lost and I don't know how to find my way anymore. I miss you so much." And then Andy said, "Mindy, I would, and I'll never stop loving you. I'm working on it. I miss you so much too. Just know I'm working on it. I'm sorry you're struggling. I understand. If I didn't love you, you wouldn't be doing this or keep going through it with you. I don't mean that in a bad way." Then this is a conversation between the ex-wife and Brittany, and she sent messages between her and Andy when he was love bombing her back in June. And she said, "This was just yesterday. Be glad to send more if you want." She said, "Unblock me on Messenger if you want to know the truth about your boyfriend." And Brittany says, "I do. Please call me." And then she sends over her phone number. Then the ex-wife says, "We're still married and we stay in contact and we're not going to leave each other alone." And Brittany says, "I'm packing my stuff, honey. You can have him if you're still interested in having a man that played you like this. I'm sorry, but me, I am in no way, shape, or form interested in continuing a relationship. He has never said anything about you. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood the messages, but it sounds like y'all were talking about unaliving me." And she's talking about the inside joke where they're like, "Oh, would you unalive a person for me?" So the ex-wife explained, "You misunderstood. It's an inside joke." And right now she has Andy and Brittany both blocked. They haven't talked in a minute. Andy hasn't reached out to her since a few months ago when Brittany ended up leaving him for a month for her ex. But ever since she got back with him, she hasn't heard from either of them. But it's like right as soon as I think I'm done with all this, it's like, wait, there's more, and more receipts come out. So I just want to talk about all that with you guys and share all these updates. So let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Today is my daughter's 3rd birthday, so in celebration of that, you can use code HAPPYBIRTHDAY, all as one word, and you can get 40% off your order. And that deal expires November 15th at midnight, so check it out if you're interested. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.